incredible that there's such a diverse crowd here. It's local, it's international, it's really, really quite a good mix. And I think it's something that we can really work with now as well. So just to give you guys an idea as well, we have about 300 people here in the venue with us tonight. It's a mixture of mentors, hackers, volunteers, sponsors, speakers, judges. So it's quite a big group of people that have all come together for this event. And actually, of these 300 people, 192 of you are hackers. And that's an incredibly large amount of hackers specifically for this event. So really well done to that. It's very quite cool. And also just now to maybe break down the stats for you guys a little bit. Of the 192 hackers, 64% of you are from South Africa. And we actually also have quite a lot of participation from other African countries. I know there's a few people here from Botswana and Ghana and Uganda, which is amazing. Thank you so much for all the African countries that are coming through. We'd also like to maybe for future events, make it more accessible to other African countries and enable other African countries to travel through for this event and make it more inclusive, again, and even more diverse, and really keep building on what we're doing here. Also, so the 192 hackers of you that are here, I know some of you may have been a little bit shook up by the first presentation, and it was a little bit advanced, but don't worry, 42% of you, or 42% of you are brand new to developing in Ethereum, which is great, because this is kind of what ETH Global is about. ETH Global is an organization that runs events like this all across the world. Their next one is actually in New York coming up soon. So these set of international events, what there really is, the goal is to bring new developers into the ecosystem and help them grow and watch the skills and maybe create this shared knowledge acumen amongst all of the people that come through. And what's really great about these events is they let you build what you want. And that's kind of something that we'd like to encourage with all of you out here as well. Is to really, it's a hackathon. It's not like your everyday conference. This is not targeted towards big corporates. It's not targeted to any specific company. It's really about the ecosystem. It's really about you, and it's really about what you can build and show us at the end of the day. We really want you to, instead of us telling you what you could build with it, or you telling us what you could be working on, really showing us what can come out of this event, and really building a working use case maybe by the end of it, which would be really, really great to see. And through this kind of an experience as well, learning together, growing together, mentoring one another, and building up like a decent shared base of understanding as well about the technology, and then taking that with you and developing the community even further. Yeah, so just to quickly give a quick rundown as well about the rest of the events for the evening. What's going to be happening now is we have a fireside chat with Vitalik. He'll be going over a little bit about how Ethereum came into being, the beginnings, diving a little bit deeper into the technical things, and then also a little bit more about what the future could hold for the technology and where he kind of sees it going in the end. After that, we're going to go through, you're going to get to meet some of the sponsors who are all here and have made this event possible for us. I'm going to go through a bit more information about the prizes, as well as the judging criteria and what you guys can expect for your teams moving into the final stages of what we're going to be actually looking at when we judge your projects. And then we're just going to finish off with some of the ground rules. We're all living together kind of under one roof for the weekend, and we all need to be a little bit mindful about what we can expect moving forward. Actually, one of those, before I move forward, for the rest of the events, if you guys could just keep the middle aisle clear, so the guys sitting on either side, just if you want to walk around, just use the side aisles, because otherwise you block the camera. But yeah, and then after the opening ceremony, we're going to proceed with the hacking, and you guys could actually get to it and start building cool things. Yeah, and without any further ado, I'd like to welcome Vitalik and Kartik to the stage.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
It's been good. How have you been?
Not bad, just a little bit tired. Is this your first time in Cape Town?
It is, yeah.
And also South Africa?
Yeah.
Oh, this should be fun. That makes two of us. So I wanted to kind of take sort of the next few minutes and cover a handful of things everywhere from how Ethereum started to kind of where we are now, and then kind of just take some of your thoughts on what we can and cannot do with this technology. But to kind of go take a step back, I'd like to kind of just learn a bit more about sort of starting with Bitcoin. How did you get into this ecosystem? How did you get to start Ethereum, and the inspiration around the project?
Sure. So I first found out about Bitcoin back in early 2011, and the way that I got into this space was I found people who were willing to pay me in Bitcoin for writing articles about Bitcoin. And first there was this blog called Bitcoin Weekly, and then soon after that, this guy from Romania called Mihai Alicia reached out to me saying he was founding a Bitcoin magazine, and I became the head writer of that, and then did that for a couple of years while going through school, starting university. Then about 2 years after that, I kind of went full-time into the space, and I started looking more heavily at a lot of different Bitcoin projects, and back then Bitcoin projects was basically all that there was. Started looking into colored coins, some of the kind of more powerful protocols at the time, things like Mastercoin, and eventually I realized that there was an opportunity to make something much more general purpose than what already existed. And so that was where my kind of very earliest proposal for Ethereum came from. Like basically take kind of existing protocols that existed at the time, like Mastercoin, that basically said, here are 15 different things that you can do, here's 15 different types of transactions for them, and instead say, well, you just have a programming language with one type of transaction, and inside of that programming language, you can kind of express the logic to just do whatever you want.
So when you were thinking about extending those existing projects or adding a bit more of abstraction, was that based out of a need, or sort of just because you thought it was cool and we should do that?
It definitely just seemed like obviously the correct way to go. And at the time, the number of applications that actually had users aside from Bitcoin itself was basically zero.
For sure. And kind of given how the project started with the goal